So our webinar today is the 8 essential elements for a better homepage. Websites in general, one of the challenges that we find is that when people come to the homepage, like you've got a split second to figure out if you've landed at the right spot. So because the homepage is so critical, we thought we would start the series off with talking about the homepage. So that's our topic today. And my goal here is that we can do the webinar in 11 minutes. So I really value your time, and then we'll stay after to do everything else. So, all right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Tom Malesic. I'm the founder and president of EZSolution, which we started. That's how we started the company, and then we spun that off into EZMarketing to really focus on all of our digital marketing services, what we're talking about today. And then we also own a computer support company that supports the local Lancaster, Harrisburg, York area. So the 8 things that we need to be concerned about. The first thing is the header. So that's the section at the top, right? And we like to see in the header area a really nice big impact image that really represents who your business is. And then within the header, we'd like to have some words that say, you know, kind of who you are, what you do, so that people can really identify it. So when they look at the header, if they can answer the questions, what do you do? How can you help me? And then what do you want me to do? Like, what's my next step? Those are the questions that without scrolling, your visitor ought to be able to look at and answer. So we're going to give you examples of each of these 8 steps. So the example I want to give you here is Tangle Salon. So nice big impact image on the front here. And the words are Lancaster's hair color specialist. So now we know what they do hair color. Then the supporting text that goes with that is, you know, at Tangle Salon, we understand you don't just want color, you want amazing color, right? So that's how they help you, right? They're not just going to color your hair and you're going to look like you poured a can of paint on it. They're going to give you amazing color. And then what do they want you to do? They want you to schedule online. So everything's right here on the screen for you, right in this top header area. Our number 2 is having a clear navigation. I'll be honest, this is one of the areas that I think most businesses struggle with, right? They try to get everything in the navigation, and there are too many choices, and they use descriptor names that you have no idea what they are. And they just don't make it easy for people to get around the site and really find what they're looking for. So really we see this as a challenge we see all the time. So an example here, we use Kirchner Pests as an example. So at the top we have our navigation, right, of home, about us, services, pest facts, and then contact us. So nice and simple. This is a fairly small site, and I know when you get really large sites, it's really, really challenging to try to get everything in that nav, but really the more simple you can keep it, the better. Now, just a follow-up from the previous slide, that header image, like those ants are creeping you out, aren't they, right? Like we get kind of what you do. Nice headline, a little supporting text, and learn more. So you're going to start to see a lot of themes here of how we use these website best practices. So our third thing to look for is that we want to have the contact information on the homepage. Ideally, I'd like you to have that at the very top of the homepage. So what we found is that statistically 65% of all the visitors to your site are looking for your contact information. So the easier you make that for them to find, the better off we're going to be. At a minimum, we want to have a contact us page, or at least get your phone number and stuff down at the very bottom in the footer of the website. So an example here, and it's even more critical when you have a service that's more of an emergency service, or like I need to get you right away. So this is pets emergency treatment. So this is like an emergency animal hospital here in Lancaster. And at the very top, right, we have this give us a call, and then also the referral calendar. So they have a lot of specialist doctors, and it's really important for people to get to the calendar. But again, simple navigation, great impact image, and then a little messaging right there as well. Now, point number 4 is our value proposition. Now, this is just a nice fancy way to say, what is the benefit that you provide to your customers? And I think so many small business owners really struggle with communicating, what is in it for the customers, right? Because what we tend to do is we take that valued space on the homepage and we just talk about us, right? So, it would go something like, EZMarketing was founded in 1997 and we have a passion for helping small business owners, or just more statistical information. So we want to avoid that, and we want to really cover what's in it for the customer, what are the benefits that you provide, and really, like, why should they choose you? So here's our example, which is invisible glass. It's actually manufactured here in Lancaster County. It's a nationally distributed product, so it's a competitor of Windex. And honestly, if you've never used invisible glass, you're missing out, because this is the best window glass cleaner I've ever had in my life. But they literally have a video that talks about the benefits of using them, and they have the section is really called Our Promise, right? Right, a sparkling home or gleaming car doesn't happen by accident. You work hard and it shows. That's why we've specially formulated invisible glass to deliver results. No extra elbow grease, no special techniques, just an unparalleled, streak-free clean every time, right? So you see how that's different than just telling them where, maybe what kind of ingredients they use or some statistical information. They want to know what's the benefit, right? So the benefit is unparalleled, streak-free clean every time. Number 5 is that on the homepage, we want to have a section that talks about the product and service categories. So in other words, when they go to your website, what are they looking for? Right? What are the most common pages that you're really trying to direct them to? And we need to have that on the homepage. Now, most business owners get this part right, but what they end up doing is have a little game of hide and go seek on it, so that you can't really recognize that you can click on those. So here's an example here of Martin Insurance, right? So again, going back to some of the elements we already talked about, phone numbers up in the top, we've got request a quote, we've got a graphic, we've got some headlines, we've got get started, and now we got a little value proposition, and now we have what are you looking for, right? You have personal insurance, commercial insurance, and then they're really putting an effort in their blog and doing education-based marketing. So that's why the blog is there as well. Now, number 6 is to provide some kind of social proof that you're really good at what you do. And in many cases, what we use is testimonials or case studies, but you could also use things like client logos or awards or any kind of credentials or icons that kind of reflect that you're really good at what you do. So there's a couple ways that we do this kind of testimonial. Now, the first way is just to have a written testimonial, right? So we have, this is our client, Backyard Escapes, and so we have the picture of what that customer purchased, their testimonial, and then their customer name. Now, the customer name is actually really critical in most cases, right? So that we have the full name, not just like Michelle S. or Sharon C., right? Because every time that we kind of hide who the customer is, it kind of comes across like, maybe that you just made this up, right? But when you put somebody's full name, it gets even better. You could put a picture of that customer, right? So they could have Michelle Summers standing with her kid's play set, with her kid. That would up that as well. So there's all different things that we can do there to add credibility to testimonials. My favorite way to do testimonials is actually video testimonials, right? So it's one thing that if it's written down, but it's another thing if you can get your customer on camera saying why they love you, why do they do business with you. And in fact, we'll probably do a webinar just on how do you get people to get on camera and do that for you. But we can also have feeds that come in, right? So that we're so interested in, Google reviews or Facebook reviews, and right, we buy so much stuff on Amazon, and I don't know about you, but I really look at those reviews, and if a product has low ratings on it, I skip and go to the next product. So your website can actually pull in some that's maybe industry specific, like Dutch Valley Auto is doing here with CarWiser, or we can pull in Google or whatever feeds that you have available to you, or we can even just screen capture them and put them in there. So the customer reviews, really, really important. Number 7 is that you have some kind of opt-in. So somebody goes to your homepage, but we don't know who they are. And we only know who they are when they fill out some kind of form that says, this is what I'm looking, or this is who I am, right? And generally we have to kind of give something to get something. So in many cases, we have some kind of downloadable content, whether it's an ebook, a white paper, maybe you have a coupon, you could have some kind of special offer that you have, or, you know, the baseline one is subscribe to our blog or our e-newsletter. But try to find what does that customer want that you can give to them in return for their email address or even their name and phone number, right? So an example here, a little shameless self-promotion. So one of the downloadable pieces of content that we have is our ultimate website buyer's guide. Because, you know, I'll just read the concept here. You know, getting a great web design shouldn't be so hard. This guy will walk you through how you hire the right web designer and get a website that achieves your goal without the process becoming a nightmare, right? And then there's a nice little download the guide. Now, we could also have the form right here if we wanted. We're directing them to the guide. This is a clip right off of our homepage. So there's lots of ways that we can do this. And what we find is that if we experiment with what does the customer or prospect want to download from us, then we can really start to have the website be much more of that lead generating machine that we're really looking for it to have. Okay, so if you do want to download our guide, here's the link to it, and I'm going to have this on other pages moving forward as well, so you can go ahead and get that. And in fact, Kelly and I can just send you the buyer's guide as well, so that you get a copy of it. Quite honestly, this webinar, right? It's kind of a lead generation piece, right? So we sent you an email, you went to our site, and you filled out information because you knew that by attending this webinar, you're probably going to get a couple pieces of good information as to how you can get your website to be more effective for you, and what all the things you should look for on your homepage. Now, finally, point number 8 is the footer, right? So that's that section way at the bottom of the website. You know, generally it has some kind of location or map screenshot. You've got your social media icons, any kind of certifications that you have. And then generally we see, like, if there's some miscellaneous pages that you want to have that aren't necessarily in that top nav, we can use that footer area to kind of call out some other pages. So an example here is Stoner Molding Solutions. So they make a chemical release product that manufacturers use to release products or like plastics from mold. So we've got their address at the bottom. We have phone numbers, not just for their corporate office in the United States, but also for their international offices. We have their social media icons with Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then we also have the icons for their ISO 9001 certification. And then we've got little links here down for the privacy policy and the terms and conditions. So you can kind of get a sense as to what kind of things, do we have in the footer. Now, I've made it almost on time. I got 14 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to unmute you so that you can ask questions. And then anybody that wants to do the review of their website, we're happy to do that as well.